We believe we might be going live now. We are probably live now on Skills Not Pills Summit, and we are so excited. This is, we had our month-long Skills Not Pills Summit. It's so exciting, with all kinds of amazing experts sharing their wisdom with us the entire month of May for Mental Health Awareness Month. If you watched any of that content, you are uplifted now with lots of good insights into how you can transform your life. And, we also heard from Lisha Antiqua, who's with us today. Welcome, Lisha.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us live here. Thank you for watching the replay. We'd love to hear from you. Yay!
The replay period is today and tomorrow, so June 1st and 2nd. So if you weren't able to get through every single interview, probably you might not have been able to do that. If you weren't able to do that, guess what? You've got a chance, like a free replay chance today and tomorrow. And, beyond that, you can always purchase the summit. It's only $47 today and tomorrow through the replay period. It's not that much money. It's a small investment. And you get forever access to it from a secure website. And believe me, that website is secure, isn't it, Antique? Isn't it, Lisha?
Now it is secure. Now it is secure. Yeah.
It is secure now. So we were just talking about how the work that we do in the world, Lisha, and because there's lots of different ways to be in light working, right? There's lots of different ways to be in helping the world transform and be a better place. And so talk a little bit about that, because you had some really interesting thoughts right before we came on live, and I'd like you to share them.
Yeah. So when talking about the awakening, like I lead, I feel really guided. I feel like I went through my lessons, my school of learning to really guide the people that are awakening right now to truly, truly, truly stand up against the dark, the warriors, to stand up against the dark, shine the light on, the dark things that are trying to take away our power and give us this sense of hopelessness and helplessness and dread. And in order to shift that, we are required to face it. And not everybody that is awakened or on the path of self-awareness or ascension, or however you want to call it, right? Just like being their best them, does the same thing. Like we all have different jobs. So for me, I realized when I was about 13 that my job was to go home and tell. And home ended up being, in the last 30 years, me studying the inner workings of my power. So how does my physical body work compared to your physical body, Carrie? What makes my body unique? How does that work? And my mindset, what makes my mind work the way that it works? Because my genetic patterning has different issues, right? There's different dark places in there. So I'm going to have to realize, like, for me personally, it's like, oh, well, my genetic patterning has this like swing to it, right? And so I have these like periods where I need to really honor that. Each month I go into this period of like, I need to be quiet, right? I need to be like in my space. And it kind of feels like depression, but when I really got to know it, it's not depression. It's just, ooh, this is when like I can get really deep insight into me, or I can pick the crap out of myself, right? Just pick myself apart. So once I learned how to not pick myself apart and utilize my downswing for introspection and love, and just share this light on me and get to know myself in curiosity, my mind, my subconscious mind started working with me, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm entering one of those phases right now at the end of the whole month of summit, like I need to go inwards. Like it's time to like curl up in a little ball and, go inside and see what I learned.
And that's,
I feel like that's integration time. It's like time to like James Garrett is one of our experts, right? And he talked about the neuroscience of the pausing. Like we're also
Mhm.
afraid to stop because we're trained like go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And really pausing, looking at it, being with it. So
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. So like we all have our different pauses though. So you get to learn your own unique pause, right? So that said, emotionally too, like I label joy in one way, it's going to feel different to me than it will you, right? Or fear, right? The opposite there. Or fear in one way, it's going to feel different to me than you. So getting to know myself in that way, as well as getting to know my spiritual gifts. And I really believe that we all have spiritual gifts, and especially people that have gone through trauma. So I spent many years working with people that were overcoming trauma and helping them to reprogram how to live, right? How to own themselves, how to have a relationship with maybe a body that they felt betrayed them, or make sense of all the stories in their mind, or just reconnect with their emotional body, and or get to know like why they can see beyond the veil, right? And everyone's making them feel like they're crazy. Right?
Yeah, there is that
Oh,
part
you
too.
can't do this, right? Which, yeah, we can, and yeah, it's been going on forever. And no, it's not woo-woo. Like it's in every great book, including the Bible, like plain as day. Just there seems to be this dark period where it was all made wrong. And that's really the only thing that shifted, is that people began making those people wrong, mainly because they wanted to feel special.
Well, maybe because they wanted to claim power. So
Exactly. To feel to
if
feel special,
if
right?
everyone's disempowered from the source of their power, then they're easier to control. And
Yeah.
if people
Yeah.
are on pills, they're easier to control.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
think
and
about
so
it.
we've used all these things to put people on pills, right? We put people on pills because their body isn't working. We put people on pills because their mind isn't working. We put people on pills because they're too emotional, right? We put people on pills because they have a spiritual awakening, and they have a greater sense of things, right? And so they're empaths, and instead of teaching them how to master themselves. So my work has really been over the last 10, 20 years.
Dang it.
Community of trauma transformers. And hi, did you go away?
Yeah, I went away for a second. It's okay.
So it's this
Good.
community of people that have gone through um, different traumatic experiences, usually, right? They vary and they range. They have come through it, they've faced it, and they know they have like this bigger, grander mission, but they don't really know what it is. So sometimes they're like spinning in the old therapeutic model, right? They're spinning in solving it with pills, or solving it with a diagnosis, or solving it with this. And they're like, I know there's something bigger. Well, I believe that this group of enlightened beings that have the courage to step forward and know themselves are what in this spiritual realm of awakening, you can Google it, like the 12 families, are called the transmuters. And I've known since I was 13 that I'm here to um, guide the transmuters, and I've been going to school, like my own internal school, and a very blessed school, um, external school, like the right teachers have come to me over the last 30 years to say, this is what you're doing. And just now it's like opening up. I've watched my friends who are like grid workers, or they like read blueprints of people, or they meditate and pray all day, right? And they like work with them.
It's
And I'm just
so
like, you're
nice,
so
right?
right. I'm like, you're so lucky. Oh my goodness, right? I just didn't feel like I was
So
like
sexy compared to what we're doing. I don't know. I mean,
so sexy, right?
Lisha,
And I almost felt guilty
I,
about being a transformer, until I realized like I'm a leader in the biggest group, like what we are, or we're just like, you know what, I can pretty much face anything. And now that I have the tools to transmute and transcend all of that stuff, I go in and we're like, karma done. Karma done. I'm not scared of my fourth dimensional stuff. I'm going to go woo woo on here. Fourth dimensional stuff, the spiritual stuff. I'm not scared of my emotions. I can feel it all. The rage, the anger, the joy, the elation, the enlightenment, the one with all. I'm totally humble, right? Because I'm like,
Because
I've
we've been
been
humbled
there.
over and over again.
Yeah, I've been there. So it's like, I don't think I'm special. I know everybody can do it, but I am special because I know everybody can do it, right? It's like, cool.
I gotta tell you, Lisha, I'm still working through a little of the martyr complex,
Oh,
just because, I mean, I realized at one point that what we do is kind of like Mother Earth. Like Mother Earth
mhm,
mulches energy, so do we.
mhm,
And it can
mhm.
be a burden. I'm sorry to say it, but it can feel like a burden because it's until you know that you're actually doing that and be mindful and conscious about it, like because you actually are capable of mulching lots of energy, but you don't have to do it all by yourself. And I think that's the biggest part to realize about this transmuting thing is that you can just serve that, but you don't have to be it. Like it doesn't have to go through your own body. But I did that for a lot of years because I didn't know that that's what
Mm-mm.
I was doing. I had no idea
Mhm.
I was doing that. And if you're doing it that way, it can certainly feel like a heavy burden because it is.
Oh,
But if you can learn how
yeah.
to do it another way where you're calling on help to do that thing. You're not doing it yourself. You're just recognizing, oh, this thing needs to mulch. This thing needs to transmute. I'm helping it do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not through me though.
So that's, yeah. And that's a little bit, I mean, it's the same, but it's a little bit different because that is the empathic awareness. And I think that like most of us are awakening, like most of the world is awakening to our sixth sense, which is this empathicness. It's different than intuition or psychicness or anything like that. An empath literally can feel and take on other people's stuff, right? So, and there's different types of empaths. And so how you process it is differently, but learning how you process it, learning how you're going to process your connection with the collective is unique to you, just like your mindset and everything else, right? So discovering like, how do I connect with the collective? What is this fourth dimensional connective connection, right? Which we're calling empath in today's words. And how do I work? For me, I'm a witness. So I spent years literally with different diseases and different aches and different pains, and I couldn't walk into a store without picking up somebody's stuff just because that's part of my soul contract. And I had all of these illnesses and all of this like stories and stuff, and half of it weren't even mine. But I didn't realize, I mean, like literally a decade, I was just sick. And
Well, I want to say thank you for
because
your
I didn't
service.
realize that I was, and then yeah, yeah. But then I was trying to process it all. I was trying to own it all as mine, right? So take 100% responsibility, right? That whole therapeutic story, take 100% responsibility. Well, I didn't know how because I can't take responsibility for anybody else. I always explain it like you walk into a house, right? And you're renting a home. And there you are, you're renting a home. You can't paint the walls. Sometimes you can't even like hang up a picture. You have to get the special little sticky things, right? It's not your house, right? That's what you're doing when you're picking up on other people's stuff. You're walking into their house and you're renting a room, right? And that's what they're doing when you invite them into your house. It's just the opposite, right? You're then saying, well, you can't paint the walls or do anything, so neither of you can heal. Neither of you can heal, and neither of you can take responsibility because they no longer have 100% of their stuff and you don't have yours. So I always make sure that my energy is clear, and I do this practice I'll share with you right now that lets me just bless everybody's energy, bless the energy that I got to feel that day of the collective, or maybe as one person in the collective, right? And really just honor all of it. And then I gift it back to them with like a little, I intend with a little jolt of love and light and healing and awareness. So they have a more powerful place in themselves to heal it. They can go, I want to heal it now. And that right person's going to come to heal it. Right. that shift will happen for them. And for me, I'm not carrying it around. Right. And I do the same thing for me because I walk around, I'm human too, right? I'm in the collective too. So I'm sure that I connect to people. I try not to, but I'm sure I connect to people, and, I have my mentors and I have people. I'm like, so I call my energy back from them, especially family, right? I call my energy back from them. So I'm not renting space in their
So
home.
you're basically, you say you just become aware of it and you just hold space, you bless all the energy, and then you visualize just pushing the energy back to everybody, blessed, and then
Yeah.
just being with you.
And then I call my energy back.
And then
So
you
we can
call
go
your
through.
energy back from
Yeah.
whoever's holding onto your energy. Okay.
Yeah. And it's not a bad thing. Like, this is the collective working together. Oftentimes we're like, oh, they're a leech with this and that. And it's like, no, like, this is just what we do. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we'll walk through that experience. For me, I'm a witness. So that's like the biggest thing I can do. Other people, they run the energy through them, right? But if you're renting the room, or you're not aware that you have somebody else's energy in you, you can't run that energy through you. And you might try to do it yourself, which I call demigodding it, right? And we're
Yeah,
not like,
I
we're not
realize that's
demigodding.
not.
Yeah. So
That's
if
from the
you
will
run it,
center, and it doesn't really
yeah,
work. You can do it,
yeah,
but it uses a lot of energy, and you get wiped out.
you get wiped out and you get sick, right? Your immune system, your body, your
And I
mental
haven't been sick in a
goes
long
out.
time because I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I surrender. Sometimes I witness like you're talking about, and then sometimes I notice, oh, okay, I guess I'm running that one through, and I'm like, oh, I guess it comes through. I'm just like, oh, I don't even want to do this anymore. But I just do it because I'm supposed to, and okay. And I know
So
that it
if you can,
clears out, I'm fine, at the end of the
mhm.
day.
So Carrie, I want to invite you to, like, really look at that as a gift, because the cool thing is, if you're running it through, you can clear all of your stuff that has any ties to that, for this lifetime, all past
True
lifetimes, if
that.
that's what you believe, and everything, because it's just a vibration, right? It's just a vibration. So then you just run the energy through, and you do that by, like, calling in the Christos light, Jesus, God,
Rainbow
whatever you
light.
want to call it.
Yeah, rainbow
Oh,
light.
right, rainbow light, whatever you want to call it. It's all, it's all there. You call in that,
Uh-huh.
and you run the energy through. So there's people that do that. So I'm a witness. I'm here to, like, help people, really hold the space for people to stand in their own power, to own their own stuff. So I witness it all, and I send it back to them with that extra bit of, like, awareness is going to come to this, and you're going to get healed.
I prefer witnessing, and I end up transmuting some.
So maybe it's best, Carrie, that you just say, I'm a transmuter,
I know, just own it. Do you know
instead of
one thing?
fighting
I
it.
gotta tell you, Lisha, if I can interject, like this cool thing that they showed me, the guides, because I have these
Mm-hmm.
meditations and I get myself in alternative states of mind so that I can get really clear messages. And I got
Yeah.
one time where I was totally happy inside my bubble. I like to call it a bubble. Like, I'm in my bubble and the world is beautiful. I'm like, I'm happy. I'm exactly what I want. The world is beautiful. I'm really like, I'm just like, yes. And then all of a sudden I'm looking around like, where is everybody? And then I go look, so I go out and I look, and there's like this wasteland, like, and I end up finding somebody whose world is like that. And it's like I watch myself like becoming this other person. Like, it was so complete.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I shapeshifted into this other person and could completely see the world through their eyes. And then I had to remind myself, wait a second, this isn't me. That's them. I'm just able to be them. I need to go back over and be me and realize that I'm witnessing them and not end up being them. This has
Mm-hmm.
been the story of my life. Like, I can literally become another person. Clearly, I have the
Yeah.
Reinvent Yourself program, but I can become another person. I can sense it. It's shape-shifting, but it's
Yeah, it
confusing
is.
to shape-shift. It's so confusing.
If you don't know you, it is. And that's why I have the Amazing You program, because many transformers, many transmuters, many people that have gone through trauma, right, have been able to shape shift. And we get to develop this shape shifting technique. We get to visit this other dimensional reality to survive, right? We first learned it to survive in
Yeah, I
this
learned it to
reality.
survive.
And
Yeah.
then, right, and then later on we use it because it's a seriously powerful tool to quantum jump and to to live there. I'm like, you know, you practice living in that bubble and interacting in this world. And that's really what we're supposed to do. So, but to shapeshift and go into somebody else's stuff is really stealing, right? It's stealing. It's friggin', it's like entering and stealing because you don't want to become them. So really recognizing that means that that person that's doing that is taking 100% responsibility and knows who they are, which you've learned how to do, Carrie. Like now you know that you're you, right? And you can tell, oh, wow, I'm seeing from their perspective. Thank you for showing me your perspective. I'm so grateful to see your perspective. And then you step out of that, right? So it's more like a gift. They invite you in, you see their perspective, and you leave without getting muddled. So let's do this practice for everybody that's listening.
Let's do it.
Okay. So if this resonates with you, step one is just, it's okay to not know what you don't know. Right? It's okay.
Yeah, it's
I just want everybody to know that.
Don't know mind is
Step
the best
two,
mind.
Yeah. Step two is just allowing yourself to not fight it. There's nothing bad. There's nothing wrong. You haven't been doing anything wrong. The less war you can be at, the less you can make yourself wrong for anything or it wrong, your body, mind, whatever, the more peace and serenity you're going to have when it comes to getting to know yourself. So put on a curious mind is step two. Step three is know that we are all empaths. Every one of us, even those who are quote unquote asleep, whatever that means. And just like, this is just the collective and we all are one. Like bottom line, we're all one, right? So this is how we see we're all one, right? And just know that. And then all you do is you just close your eyes and you can kind of stamp your feet, take your arms, rub your legs, just feel your body. Just feel your physical body. This is your temple. This is your body. It is what it is. And just, hi, here I am. I'm home. Come home to your body. And then in your mind, like really your pituitary, but your mind, there is a magnet. And just call back all of your thoughts from the past and all of your thoughts from the future. Call them right back into right now. And you just do this with an intention. It happens like this beyond space and time. Time is just made up anyway. And then next you have this feeling. So the feeling center is like in kind of your guts, right? That gut feeling, it's emotions that runs up the spine through the Kundalini channel. And it's your emotional intelligence. So just recognize what you're feeling. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be, you know, the low vibrations of like total failure to the high vibrations of absolute oneness with absolutely everything, enlightenment, and everything in between. It doesn't really matter what it is. Like we all feel it all. Just go, oh, this is how I'm feeling now, and acknowledge it for yourself. So that's phase one. Phase three is you're going to come into this heart center, and you're going to feel your reality bubble. You know, Carrie called it her bubble. I call it a reality bubble. Other people call it a auric field, whatever you want. You're going to just feel this field and just expand it out. Just expand it out a little bit so you can kind of see it around you. Usually it's about, you know, between 10 and 3 feet away from your arm's distance, up and down and all around you, is your personal reality bubble. However, sometimes, especially after trauma, it can be really close. So just expand it out a little bit, however much feels comfortable for you. And then first, just check it for cracks and holes. Just check it for cracks and holes. And if there's a hole and there's like something coming through it, even if there's a bazillion, you've never done this before, it's totally okay. I take a lotus flower and in a blink of an eye, I just say, all the lotus flowers go to it. And this lotus flower is facing that energy. So the energy has something to feed on. It's not going to go unattached to another. And on this, we just ask, you know, Heavenly Father, Mother God, just ask you to bless this, to give this person, place, or thing just exactly what they need to own and prosper and heal and be of their highest good and be of the highest service and all shapes, forms, and sizes. And I just send this energy back to them and I seal up my auric field. Seal it up. And this can be every dimension, you know, of being, every light line, every timeline, ever. And just seal it up, send it back. And then you might see some that are kind of coming out from you. And you're like, oh, I'm attached to people everywhere. Go ahead and just take those. And this time your flower is going to go on the inside and it's going to attach to you. So you're not going to need to reach out and feed on anybody else's energy. And you're just going to close that off, sending back their energy to them, and call back your energy to you. Is ending any stories, giving yourself the ability to completely and totally heal anything and everything. Okay? Anything and everything, mentally, physically, emotionally, any reason that you're on the pills, that you're using pills. Now those pills are not only going to work, but they're going to just you're not going to need them anymore. You're going to call this energy back in. You're going to get that true anchoring solution to whatever it is that has been unmanageable in your life. And that road home, right? Home to your body, knowing that you're the master of your domain. Yeah, just feel that. So anchor it into your body, feel your body. And then fill up your reality bubble with just absolute love. And absolute love. You can call this light down from heaven. You can anchor it into Mama Earth. Anchor it into the new earth, the fifth dimensional earth. If that's where you're here. Just feel more centered in your power. You might even say, I have the intention to know my physical body and to know exactly what it needs in this world to run beautifully and masterfully. I have the intention to know my mental mind, to know exactly what it needs, accept it and love it, to run it masterfully on every level and layer and depth. I am totally open to knowing my emotional reality and my sticking points and exactly how to manage them, clear them, transmute them, love them and express them and utilize them to manifest this beautiful reality for what it is. I am totally open to know my own spiritual power, to know my connection with all, to manage my own spirituality, my own awareness, to clear all karmic patterns, to clear all and transmute all old patterns that I have faced, that I've seen, and that no longer serve me or my family, to change everything related to the lower bodies of my emotional body, my physical body, and my mental body, and the RNA and DNA structure of my family, past, present, and future. And I am willing to do all of that. I'm willing to be in self-mastery and to manage my own energetic field, connecting to the highest good of all, anchoring in heaven on earth. And you can even go deeper and invite that, pure awareness that you are who you are, and that awareness of like you were talking about, Carrie, like Carrie was talking about this, like soul, your soul in your body. Oftentimes when we go through trauma, our soul literally either pops up or out, down. So if you want more information about that, you can connect with me. But we're just going to just invite your soul to just come into your presence, maybe just into your auric fields, right? And just like, oh, here I am. And all the way in. Eventually your soul just like, is you. And your soul's running the show, running your spirituality, running your emotionality, running and aligning with you mentally, running and aligning your physical body. So you're in perfect harmony in your power. Incarnate power right here, right now. Just take a nice deep breath, welcoming this into your heart center, expand out in your heart center. So expanding your heart center love through all of your chakras and all 360 degrees into your auric field. And then like a light shining, we're going to shine outside of our auric field. You still have that space that is you, right? Outside of your field, though, you're shining your love and your light into the room that you're in, into your city or state or Providence or wherever you are, your county, into your hemisphere, out beyond Mama Earth, into the sunlight, beyond into the galaxy and the Milky Way and beyond, as far out as you want to go. Just shine, shine, shine brightly as you are a divine light. And then knowing that you are shining out and you're also just pure, just lovely in your space, and this is what you're bringing to the world. Go ahead and open up your eyes. take a nice deep breath and bring this new awareness into here and now, anchored into this world, seeing everybody and everything through this light. And do that morning and night. So you can shorten it, right? It can go really fast once you get that down. And just morning and evening, your life will change.
I love that you use the lotus blossoms because they're good at mulching all that mud, right? They can grow in the mud.
Yeah,
It's so beautiful that you use
yeah,
lotus blossoms.
exactly.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's one of their gifts. So you're just
yeah,
demonstrating something that I know about shamanism, right? It's like every single animal and plant on this earth has a purpose. And when you ask them as an ally to assist you in something, they'll do it. The lotus blossom's happy to
exactly.
help. It already does
Yes,
that. That's what it's made for.
yes. Yeah. And you'll like in that heart center, like that's where we do some deep transformational work in the Amazing You program, right? Where to get to know you, we're like, oh, and we create this alignment and we utilize all of everything, right? To bring everything back into harmony. So really your soul just brings everything back into harmony. But after trauma, which is usually why we're on pills, um, we it's like the soul gets kicked out by the lower dimensions, by the spiritual realm of our bodies, because it's going to take over, or that survival mode of our emotions, or the survival mode of our mindset, or our physical body. Something takes over and like kicks the soul out, because it's the lower dimensions are here to protect our soul, keep us alive, right? But unless it's reprogrammed, right, which we can tell for flight, fight, or freeze, right, which you could tell when our adrenals are out and we're not digesting our food and all those things, like, oh, right, oh,
Well,
or
dis-ease is
PTSD.
actually a resonance. It's a disharmony. I was realizing the other
Yeah,
day that when you get back in your soul presence, then you're in harmony with yourself,
yeah,
in
yeah,
resonance with yourself, and usually also in resonance with everything that is, because the earth, and
yeah.
and then you just don't get
Then
sick.
you can, yeah, and
Because
then you can transform those old things. Like then if
yeah,
you are a transformer, if you are a part of this collective awakening that's happening, that we're here to transmute, that's our jobs, it's no longer scary, because you're like in your power and you're like, oh, this is just my job, I'm just doing it, right?
yeah.
And it becomes fun, and you can have those boundaries around it. So I have actually something really special I'd like to offer that
Yes,
wasn't
please do. Yeah.
on it, but it was just there. So I have these one-off sessions. I never did one-off sessions, but it was led to me about a month ago. God was like, you're going to start receiving souls. I've always received souls, but like you're going to start doing this in one-off sessions. Usually people had to go through my whole program to get this. And so, sometimes it takes a couple of them, right? It just depends on where you're at in the process. But this is where healing truly becomes effortless for you. Not so much work in all the other zones, like your soul is in charge. So I have these one-off sessions. They're on my website, lishaantiqua.com. And you can pay what you can. So normally it's $250 an hour to work with me. I priced it at $222. But I have offerings for people who have gone through a lot of trauma. I know that we're usually broken at the
Yes,
same
ma'am.
time.
That is
So,
definitely
so
part of
you can
it.
pay, yeah, so you can pay what you can. It starts at $22.22 for a half hour receiving the soul, or $44.44 for an hour. And if you can pay more, please do, because it's how I feed my family. I'm a single mom, and this is what I'm given. This is what I do for a living. But if you need that extra support, or just right, I want to just see what it's like to work with me, like that's a beautiful way. But we'll do this meditation and we'll find your soul and we'll connect with that. This is one of my spiritual gifts. When Jesus appeared to me when I was 13 and told me to go home and tell, this is what eventually, through being willing, right, and walking through my own training, I learned. And I've been blessed to have it affirmed by thousands of people. So if this is something that speaks to you, if you want to have that inner soul effortless connection, and want to get to know your soul, your high soul, then this is it.
Yeah. And it feels good anyway. And the message I got too is similar to yours. Like, people need to go through the course first, right? They needed to get going on learning their own skills, because in order to integrate and hold that kind of healing, like you need to have some skills also. You need to have your own practice, yours. Like nobody
Yeah.
else can hold your practice.
Yeah. I'm finding that
But
there's a lot of people. Yeah. I'm finding that there's a lot of people that are very skilled at their own practice, that soul is still out of their body. So
yeah,
things aren't really working for them yet.
yeah, they need a little boost. So,
Yeah.
I was going
But
to
they
say
have like
sometimes
all of this education. They've
you
read
need a
like
little.
every book, right? They've read every book, they've taken every course, right? And they just need that last piece. And then there's other people that really need this in order to have the courage to take that investment and say, you know what, I'm going to invest, 5, 10, 3, whatever, however much, $1,000 in myself, right? Because it's a different mentality. Although they do it anytime that they go to the doctor's office, right?
Well, there is that, but then, but it is kind of hard for people to, if they haven't awakened yet, it's hard for them to trust that this is really true. And quite frankly, I still have my moments. Like even before we got on this call, I was like, oh, I'm still really realizing that this is spiritual work. Like I'm doing the skills, not pills movement, but like
Yeah.
my website's been being attacked, and all this kind of stuff. And shooing that away again. But I it's even for me, I still have to remind myself that this is sacred work, and that there are, it's not in everybody's agenda to have the awakening happen. So just,
No, it's not. But
it's not in
there
everybody's
is,
agenda. Yeah.
no, it's not. But I think that there is more and more people saying, oh, wow, something big is happening. I have this call on my heart.
I have a call
I,
on my
I
heart.
really, I really want to start a movement. I really have a message to put out into the world. I really want to do this. And so I help them to step into that personal awareness, right? To step into the self mastery, and to anchor their soul is just one little way. But I think it helps across the board, because I think it's definitely happening.
I
Like the
also want
earth
to,
is changing. Mama Earth is changing.
Mama, yeah, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia is changing her consciousness, and therefore we have to change ours. There's no like choice there. If you want to stay on Earth, you've got to transform. But also, I was getting this message because I still am human, and I still have my judgments,
Yeah.
and so I'm
Yeah.
shown what those are. And I was having one last week because there was another light worker who was like, just focus on the light, even if you think you're doing really a lot of help, just focus on the light. And I'm like, that's not what I know. And so I kind of commented like, well, this is great wisdom for the woke, but like, what about people that can't get there? You're not really bridging to those people that can't get there. And her response was kind of defensive and whatever. I don't need to mention it right here, but she kind of basically said, well, you must not be open to receiving love from source. And I was like, that really hurt my feelings. So I went
So
I went and saw
yeah,
Tully.
can I say something? Yeah, can I say something to that, Carrie? Because
Yeah,
it's
because
so
I was
powerful.
hurt by that, and I
And
went to go see Tully because I was like,
yeah,
I know how to love. I'm a mom. Like I've been in the trenches. Like I've been up at 3 a.m. feeding
yeah,
my baby when I was like not feeling good. I that's love to me.
yeah,
So
yeah.
share.
So let me share this. There is a spiritual movement out there that has is coming to an end, but it's very like positive thinking. It's very about the mindset. It's very about mastery of the mindset and shifting the mindset to positive thinking. But it didn't teach much on the tools on how to master the shadow, right? And and there's different aspects. There are people here definitely here to anchor the light, in the sense that they're here to only hold the vibration of love. They are not here to deal with any negative karma. They're not here to do anything. They just walk around in this bliss bubble. I love them. They're my dear friends. Most of them know that they're here on a mission, or at least my friends, I should say. My friends know that they're here on a mission, and that's their gift. That my gift is something totally different. I'm here. How I show love is I can face those. I was up the last 2 nights fighting, you can call them demonic, but I was fighting molestation and the patriarchy last night. Okay. the energy of the patriarchy and molestation last night, all night in my sleep. The night before, I was fighting parental abuse and condemning speak, right? You're a pain in the ass, you're a pain in the neck. And fighting that all night in my lucid dreams. Like I work all night long.
I work all night
So
long too, and I'm
yeah,
tired.
yeah. So that's why I don't do it. I don't do it anymore. I do this, what I just taught you, Carrie.
Yeah.
And then I let God work through me. And I know that it's my job. Like I am equipped with all the tools to do this. I wake up more energized now. Okay. So really, like we probably should talk because like
I
we
need to
probably should
embrace,
talk,
yeah,
but
I'm
that's
just
besides the point.
embracing this in a whole
So
new
I,
way. It's my resistance to it that
yeah,
gets in the way because I am
yeah.
too. Like
So
that's my whole thing. I'm working on
yes,
shame. Like shame is the thing.
there's, yeah, which is beautiful. So this judgment thing, right now, judgment is really up. People are teaching, the
Judgment.
spiritual community is like teaching about it. It's really, really up. But judgment is a really good thing.
Discernment.
Judgment,
I think discernment is a good thing.
discernment is great, but so is judgment. So is judgment.
Oh.
So is judgment. Judgment is a beautiful thing because people do need to be sentenced. They need to be held accountable and they need to be sentenced. There is shadow and light, right? And in order to get rid of the demonic things, we need to be allowed to judge and sentence them. The last day of judgment. It doesn't say the last day of discernment, Jesus is going to do something. No, the last day of judgment. And in Revelations, when we go up to heaven, we are going to judge ourselves. God isn't going to judge us. We're going to judge
Well, we
ourselves.
all judge
But we
ourselves
need to
anyway.
have
That's
that.
how we get karma.
But negatively. But negatively. No. Yes. But negatively. I mean, I could go on with this like for a long time.
Okay, well, we're probably
But
good.
I have a entire thing on judgment and how to judge properly because it's a tool. So I think that you're just ready, Carrie, to go through this beautiful awareness. I don't know if it's awakening, but awareness of like, how do I properly use judgment so I'm not condemning myself like everybody else does? So I'm not condemning things, but I'm seriously being allowed to look at this, to see how I judge things. I'm a fucking shameful, blah, 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 blah. How dare I did this and that and that's it. And then look at that judgment that you're putting on myself. You deserve to be attacked the rest of your life. You deserve for your internet to be attacked the rest of your life. That's what you get for being unloving, right? You
I
put
don't
that
have
down
it.
there
I
because
don't
that's the
want
judgment.
my
And you're like,
website
then
checked
you
anymore.
consciously,
No more.
yeah. So no, just this is just an example. This is just an example, everybody. Not true. Not true. Just an example. Let me say that. So anyway, but like you can judge all this. Like this person said this and blah 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 blah. This is the quick little lesson for everybody. Write it all down. This is the judgment. This is why I'm judged. All the icky, shameful, horrible things, right? Whatever you're judging. Body, mind, mental, website, whatever. This person's account of you. Then you put down your sentence. I'm sentenced to be attacked for the rest of my life in this example, because that's what's happening, right? And then you step back and your soul then looks at that and goes, is that a proper judgment? Is that a proper sentence for what I'm judged? Well, all of this is actually baloney. Like none of that's actually true. So you know what? I'm going to forgive all of this. I'm going to cross out that sentence because I now am judge and juror, right? And I'm going to write in, you're doing great work and you deserve to have ease and peace so you can rest. That's the sentence. That's the new sentence. And okay, so the solution is going to come. And from that place, you go through it. And it doesn't matter. Like I do it with shame. I do it with body guilt. I do it. I mean, stuff is going to come up for us. Everybody. It's a very rare thing that an actual light worker is holding that space of love that truly can do it without condemning another. Because if they're condemning another saying, well, you're just not as enlightened as me, right there
That
tells
just
you
happened to
something.
me. That actually just happened to me by this person. And I was like, oh, so what I do when that happens is I check in with my guides. Like I do my little meditation. I have my mesa, my stone people that support me. And I check in with my stone people and I ask them, what is this about? Tell me. And where am I out of right relationship? Where is this person
Yeah.
out of right relationship? What do I need to do to clean up my piece of it? And how can what am I to learn, And so I'll test different things to see like, what's the right, what's the answer? What's the thing? And then
Perfect.
I
So
forgive the whole
powerful.
thing. I'm like, I don't hold any judgment, but I did put a barrier there. I was like, boundary,
Yeah.
boundary is in
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
I am no longer looking at that. And
Hmm.
I solved it. I needed to see it for a reason. I learned a lesson. I'm done with it.
Yeah. And I think that that's, you know, like little angels and little people come into our lives like that. Like she really was an angel because she
She
let you
was,
look
she
at
showed
that
me.
whole situation, right? And go, well, is this true?
Yeah.
And no. And now here I am saying like, no, trauma transformers, this is what we're here to do. This is our job. And Carrie, we're definitely part of the same soul family. We had that first
Oh yeah.
conversation, a year ago, whatever. Like
Do you
we're
know
like,
what this makes me think
whoa,
of,
yeah, we're
Lisha?
on the same mission.
This makes me
Hmm.
think of my dad. Okay, so for everybody out there who knows my traumatic beginning, this is my second stepfather, the guy I called my dad, my wisdom keeper that raised me from 5 years old on. He used to tell me every time I would do something that was, punishable. He wouldn't tell me what the punishment was. He would sit me down and he'd say, "What's an appropriate punishment for what you just did? Tell me what you think it is." And
Hmm.
I would like
So powerful.
break myself over the coals, right? And he would say, I think that's a little too harsh. What if we did this instead?
Yeah.
So it's so interesting that my primary teacher was doing that with me my whole, like from 5 up. Isn't that amazing?
He's
Wow.
brilliant. He
He
was
is
brilliant.
brilliant. I love you,
So,
Dad.
so now know that you rake yourself over the coals, but let yourself do it, right? Because he had to let you do that, and then he had to say, okay, and then he still stepped in as judge. Now you get to step in, and you get to be that supreme judge
Oh,
in your life.
I
Let the
love it.
supreme judge come in,
The
right?
supreme judge.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so
And
great.
all emotions are good. Like we feel shame for a reason. Is it real shame? Is it not? Right? Like all of this stuff we get to learn. And a lot of spiritual teachings are like, oh, just don't don't deal with that, right? Just ignore it, and it never works. It just keeps coming up. That's how we repeat cycles. Yeah, it's good to connect with love, but you know what? Acceptance is one of the highest things that we can get, and you can accept being angry. You can accept being fearful. You can accept being shameful. You can accept being disconnected for your body at the moment without making yourself wrong. Just go to that acceptance place. Once you're there, then you can masterfully heal it from a very high vibration. Because sometimes just throwing holy water on the situation doesn't work.
No. There's something there for you. It's a gift. I always tell people a challenge comes up in your life that equals a gift and a teacher. It's there to teach you
Yeah,
something. That's why it's coming up.
yeah,
It's not an enemy. It's there for you. It's a gift.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
beautiful. So, okay, so people can go to your website, lishaantiqua.com, and
Mhm.
I'll add it to this thing right here. I'll go find the link to get a little boost session, a boost
Yeah,
kickoff of
they can get a boost, a kickoff session. Yeah, an embodiment. They can come
and
home so they can tell the world their message.
yay,
Yeah,
because don't we all want to come home? That's like the source of why we're all so, disgruntled or unfulfilled is we need to come home. So,
yeah,
yay, thanks for offering that. And thank you everybody for tuning in with us on Skills Not Pills all month long. And it goes, by the way, it continues on. So today, June 1st, June 2nd, there's a replay of every single interview for free. Once again, you can go to skillsnotpillsmovement.com to sign up for that. You'll get an email that has a link to every single email that went out this month, in May actually, and you'll be able to click back through and watch the interviews. If you want to support the movement, please do. It's $47. You can sign up for $47 through June 2nd to support the movement and get a private website access to all the interviews. It's a lot easier to get around using that format. And if you want to be an affiliate for this, let's say that you think this is like kick ass and you're like, I'm going to share this with all of my clients, or I'm going to share this with other colleagues, or I want to share this with my friends and family, then you can become an affiliate. And there's a link to do that in that email when you sign up to receive the summit, to receive the replay. There's a little link and you can click that to go become an affiliate. So there's lots of ways to play, and the interviews continue. So live on Facebook Tuesdays and Fridays at noon Central Time. We're going to have an expert every single Tuesday, Friday. Sometimes it's a little not exactly at 2, so check the schedule on the Skills Not Pills movement Facebook page under events is a list of all the experts that are coming up. There's a heck of a lot of them, and it's amazing content. So tune in with us. And that's all I got for you today. I'm so excited that you came with us, Lisha. Thank you for being a founding member of
Thank
Skills
you
Not
so
Pills.
much, Carrie. Thank you so much. It's beautiful.
Woohoo!
Thank you, everybody, for doing what you're doing. I mean, I know this group is just so powerful, and the speakers have been amazing, and
Amazing.
you've done such a great job. And everybody listening, just, thank you for being a part of our family here, and you are loved. That's it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Lisha. You're on university.
Oh,
Woohoo! All right.
yay.
See you guys later.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.